Let's turn our attention to the game you have this weekend. We were talking about it, Notre Dame against Michigan State. We all know the Spartans were dreadful down the stretch last year. They have looked a little better, albeit not against the best competition so far this year. But where are the improvements you've seen as you've watched them on tape in preparing for this one?
I thought there was one major difference between what Michigan State was a year ago and what they had been prior, you know, when they were making their run to the playoff and winning Rose Bowls and winning 2 conference championships in 3 seasons. And that was quarterback play. And I understand that they're going to point to chemistry and that there was maybe a lack of leadership and there was something going on in the locker room last year. And I understand that, and I certainly think that that plays a factor. But when you just look from my position or your guys' position and you see the difference, it's quarterback play. They desperately needed someone to solidify that position a year ago, and they never got that. And what I think you're seeing is early this year, you're getting more solid play out of Brian Lewerke. I think it was a big deal that Coach D'Antonio named him the starter before he had even played a practice in spring ball while his leg was still broken, essentially, from last October's injury that he had. That tells me that this guy is a quality leader, that the coaches believe in him, and his teammates believe in him. Now, he hasn't thrown the ball great as of yet, but remember now, those legs are a different dimension than what they've had in the past with guys like Kirk Cousins or Connor Cook. This is a very good player that's going to develop in the passing game, and from that standpoint, I think Michigan State is much better suited moving forward this season than they were a year ago at the same mark of 2-0.
So what are Lewerke's strengths right now, Joel? How would you categorize his strengths?
Well, certainly running the football. I mean, you showed a little bit there, and they're helping out their offensive line, certainly with some of that zone read stuff. But the one thing that does for you is that if you can exploit the defense as a runner, whether it's your run game as an offense or as a runner yourself as a quarterback, you're going to draw an extra defender into the box. And as soon as you can create a middle closed look, okay, so for everyone at home, you're like, what is middle closed? That means that there is one single safety in the middle of the field. A quarterback desperately wants to see a middle closed look, regardless of coverage. It can be cover 1, cover 3. If you can get the closed safety, one safety, that means that there's free access on the outside, and it's much easier to throw, in particular in the seams, and everything in the passing game becomes much easier. That's the different element that I think is going to help Brian Lewerke. He hasn't thrown the ball great, like I said, but his ability to be a runner, in particular in these first 2 games, I think is ultimately going to help his ability to throw the football down the field. And we'll see if that happens against Notre Dame. It's going to have to happen against Notre Dame because they're a much better defense than what he's seen in the first 2 weeks.